Hello, good evening. Good evening, Lawrence. Hello. How are you? Good evening, Vincent. Good to see you.
Likewise, sir. How are you?
Okay, so let's resume our recording and let's share our screen. So there's the question. It says, while loop and switch. An events ticket booking system prompts the user to make a choice as well as the number of tickets required. A valid selection must be between 0 and 4. Enter the program below and complete the loop. Name the program question1.cpp, compile and run it. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to open up my code blocks. Oh, no, I don't need to stop the share. I need to stop the, just cancel that and share my screen. Let's open up code blocks, create a new project, console application, C++. So assignment 4, Q1, I'm calling it VIP, right? Okay, so here's my program, and I'm going to open up my work. Let me just copy my solution. I just want to and copy, and let's go and all right. So let's just run the program so you'll see what it looks like. Build and run. C out. Oops. Build and run. C out was not declared in the scope. Oh boy, that's because when you copy and paste, build and run. Great. So Vincent, please tell me if you can see the output on the screen.
Yes, I can, sir.
Right, so this is what they expect of you in the question. Please enter the choice of ticket, a number from 1 to 4 or 0 to quit. So your ticket menu is 1, exclusive VIP area, 3,000 rands. 2, VIP area B, 2,000 rands. 3, elevated area, 1,200 rands. 4, general area, 600 rands. Now, Vincent, this looks very close to what you have done in your previous assignment.
I was thinking the same thing.
Of course you were.
I was thinking the same thing.
Of course you were, and you'll be absolutely right. So you remember you used to only travel after lunch because you wanted to have breakfast with the family. So you used to take a lunchtime flight. It's the very same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, this is how you must learn programming. I'm trying to teach you strategies. You need to be able to identify a new program or a new solution based on something that you've done somewhere in your past. And the only way you can get that is if you have some experience in doing programming. So you realize that in the flight example, you had to choose either a morning flight at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And you look at this example and you say, hey, it's very, very close to what I have, right? Very similar. So let's start with number one. If I had to select number one, you have selected option one. How many tickets would you like? I would like 2 tickets. So 2 tickets should be 6,000 rands because it's 2 times 3,000 rands. Vincent, that's what they expect of you in the, yeah, please keep your mic on if you don't mind, because you and I can have a conversation, right? Great.
Not a problem.
So that's what I'm expecting of it in the solution. Okay, so let's go and have a look. Welcome to another participant. I'm so happy. Who do I see here? No, it's not. It's just Pabello and you and I. All right. So I'm going to, in a way, just where is
Chantell? Chantell is coming. She says she has problems with the phone.
Oh, okay, okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She can watch the recording. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, right. So here it is. I'm just gonna pause the recording for Chantell. Chantell, are you there? All right. So let's look at assignment 4, question 2. What they are expecting from you. In the second part, second question, they say you need to use a for loop. Include the for loop below in a small program named question2.cpp and complete the program. The loop should be executed 10 times. Do not change the for loop below. Compile and run your program and see for yourself that it works. There we go. There's my for loop. A quick revision. It has a starting point. It has an ending point. It increments. Now convert the for loop into a while loop and add any variable initializations that you think are necessary. Here they are testing you on the concepts of a while loop. To revise, a while loop needs to have a value before it enters the loop. So you got to initialize it beforehand, just like what happened in the previous example. So if I looked at the previous example and I have a while loop here, if I'm going to determine what the selection is, I've got to input that value before I enter the while loop. And inside the while loop, I must make a change to that. That's how I'm going to exit the while loop. So let's open up our code blocks to answer question 2a. And there's my question 2a. And again, I'm going to pause my recording. Let's resume our recording. And let's do a build and run. If I build and run, that's what is expected of the output. Now you will need to display this output and include that in your assignment submission. In order to do that, you click on the top next to where it says C:\\, you go to edit, you go to select all, then you go back there and you say edit and you say copy, which is, or you just simply press the enter key on your keyboard and you open up Microsoft Word and you paste it in there. Done. Okay, and include that in your assignment submission. Okay, let's look at the next question. The next question in the talks about the following. It says, the following code is supposed to calculate the sum of numbers 2 through 5. That is, it should calculate the value 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 14. However, there is a logical error in the code. Explain what the output of the code below will be. Then write a small program named question2b, include the code below, and make the necessary changes to fix the code so that it displays what it is intended to display. Ensure that your program works correctly. only submit the program, not the output. Oh, this is cool. They don't want the output. But in the previous one, did they ask for the output? Yeah, you do not have to submit this program. Oh, you do not have to submit it. Oh, then why did we do it? Doesn't matter.
So you can do number 2.
Oh, let's do 2B, right? Let's do 2B now. Let's do 2B. Right, now, if you can't do 2, if you can't understand 2A, you can't do 2B. That's my view,
Yes.
right? So you got to, right? Project, console application, C++, X, assignment 04 underscore Q2B. Right, finish. Right. So let's go and.
Who's watching TV?
Someone's watching TV.
Sorry, that was me.
Okay. You shouldn't be watching TV. You're busy with your studies now.
I'm visiting, sir, so it's.
Yeah. Visiting what?
Okay. Sorry, no problem. Right. Let's just excuse him, Vincent. He's visiting, and we're so happy that he joined us. Right. Okay. So let's copy the text. Let's go and paste it here. Now they tell me there's a logical error. Logical error means that the program compiles, but it's giving us an incorrect output, right? So we typed out that program. Aren't I a fast typist?
Always.
Let's go build and run. The sum of 2 through 5 is 19. Is that true? So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14.
14.
Oh my. So now we've got to do a trace through this program. We need to basically find out what's wrong and where does it go wrong. So it says next is equal to 2, sum is equal to 1, while next is less than equal to 5. Is 2 less than equal to 5? True. 2 becomes 2 plus 1, which is 3. Sum was initially 1, and sum is 1 plus the previous value, and it runs and runs and runs and runs, right? So now I have the solution. I'm going to pause this because I don't want you all to copy the solution, and I want us to work on our own, right? So let's press any key here. Let's go back here, and
Sir?
Yes, Vincent.
I actually want to understand what happened.
Okay.
So basically what happened is, okay. I think Pabello is saying something.
Go ahead,
It's
Pabello.
not me.
Oh,
okay. No, I want to understand the logic of what actually happened before we moved next plus below.
Okay, right. Okay, great. Let me explain to you what happened. Right?
I also want to understand.
All right, my students, let's continue with the question. Let's look at question 3. What are they talking about out here? Now, in question 3, they say, a lecturer requires information regarding the average time a student spent programming. Maybe it's your lecture for Cos1511. Over a 3-day long weekend. I'd like a 3-day long weekend. Wouldn't you, Vincent? Vincent, don't you like a 3-day long weekend?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. So in this case, the lecturer says the student would be working over 3 days and he wants to find the average time the student spent programming. Remember, I was just talking to you, Pabello was just talking about the order in which we do programming statements. So in order for me to do the average of whatever it is that I'm working out, I need to find the sum. And the only way I can do that is if I have a running sum.
Sir.
And guess what? In the previous question, there's the running sum that they had over here. Right? When I say running, it keeps on changing. You know, not running away like walking, running, sprinting.
Okay.
Oh, yes, you got my joke. Thank you. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but it never worked out. So, like, next best thing is a lecture and I try to make you laugh.
Now you get a PhD.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, thank you very much for that. Right. So here's my running sum. There's a total is equal to total plus number of hours. Look at that. Doesn't that look similar to what we had over here? Sum is equal to sum plus next. I promise you, this is going to come out in the exam. The word running sum, total is equal to total plus that. The concept of a variable and adding a value to something else, right? Now they talk to me and they tell me that it's 3 days and they say it finds the average, da 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 da. And what's the question? The question is the outer loop controls the number of students. Note that the inner loop is always executed exactly 3 times, once for each day of the long weekend. Modify the code so that the inner loop iterates n times, where n is a positive integer that the user inputs. Thus, the user decides how many days to consider, just as they choose how many students to consider. So now, watch this. Just check out what a fast typist I am. Here I am. I'm going to copy all of this. All right, so I'm going to copy this. Let's go and copy it. Open up my code blocks. And I'm going to paste it. All right, where's my code blocks? Here's my code blocks. Control V. Hey, Vincent, aren't I a fast typist, Vincent? Vincent?
Yes, sir.
Yay, I know
Yes,
how to
sir.
copy and paste. And then, all right, so, right, give me a split second. I just gotta move rooms over here. I'm actually in my son's room, and right, okay, so as I'm talking, I can move and talk. So here we go. It says this program finds the average time spent programming by a student each day over a 3-day period. Right? Include IO stream using namespace standard, int number of students. Okay. All right, so here I am. All right, let's look at the variable declaration. Hey, look at this. Can you see that it says out there int number of students and it has equal to 0? Chantell, wasn't I just telling you about that?
Yes,
Hey, there's that initializing to 0. Check it out. Now, if I wanted to look for extra marks, I could have, went and said total is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Oh, no, there we go. There they did it out here. It's done on line number 17. It's done on line number 17. So in this question, if you look at the way they've structured it, they are testing you on your ability to understand the characteristics associated with the for loop, right? Let's go and look at the characteristics out here. It says for student is equal to 1. That's the starting point of the loop. This is the ending point of the loop. And this is how I increment my loop inside the curly brackets. And out here it says I am starting another loop. That means I have a loop within a loop. This is my inner loop. For day equals 1, day is less than equal to 3, day plus plus. I'm incrementing it at a time, one at a time, one day at a time. It says, please enter the number of hours worked by the student. So how many hours you worked on day 1, Vincent?
Come again, sir?
Vincent, how many hours you worked on day 1? Maybe 4 hours? 3 hours?
4 hours.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Let's say 6 hours.
Right, there we go. How many students are there? We know there's 3 students. There's Pabello, Chantell, and Vincent. Please enter the number of hours worked by Vincent, which is on day 1. He said 6 hours. Boy. Please enter the number of hours worked by student 1 on day 2, and he worked 4 hours. And the following day is 0 hours. Let's make it, no. 10. He worked 2 hours, right? The average number of hours worked is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is indeed 4. Pabello, how many hours you worked on day 1?
4.
Oh, 4 hours. Okay. And day 2?
2.
2. 4 plus 2 is 6. Day 3?
2.
And 2. So he worked 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 divided by 3 is 2.667 average number of hours. Chantell, I better ask you, how many hours you worked on day 1?
4.
4. Day 2?
3.
3. And day 3?
5.
5. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 and 5 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Correct. Right. So I'm quite happy with that. Now that we understand how this program works, which is an exact replica of this assignment question, right? Because I've taken everything, I didn't change anything. They want me now to go and make a change to this. They say the outer loop controls the number of students. The inner loop is always executed exactly 3 times. But they say that we need to modify the code so the inner loop iterates n times, where n is a positive integer. That means I'm no longer going to have a 3-day work. I'm going to have a 4-day or a 5-day weekend. You get it? Right?
Yes, sir.
The inner loop iterates n number of times, and the user inputs that. So they are testing you on your ability to identify where and how the loop stops. Right? So if I look at my program code, can you see this? It stops here at 3 days.
Day 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Now you need to go and put in a variable instead of now you're allowing it only to be a 3-day weekend. I don't know who has a 4-day weekend or a 5-day weekend. That means they're taking the whole weekend off, right? Okay. So let's go and look at this. Let's look at how and what we change it, right? Okay, students, so let's look at the next question. And the next question, they talk about modify the question 3b so that it finds the average number of hours per day that a given student studies biology as well as programming. For each given student, include 2 prompts, 1 for each program. Have the program display which subject the student, the average, and this time is spent the most on. And now they want you to submit question 3 as well as the output. You'll notice in 3A, they didn't expect you to run the output or to run it, and to submit it. But in 3B, they want you to do it. Now, even in the examination, you will have a question based on another question. So this is like a sub-question. And very often in programming, if you don't get question 3A right, the chances of you getting 3B right are slim to none. That's just my opinion, right? And again, trust me, I know about this. I've been doing programming for a number of years. So you need to get to grips with what's going on in here. And if you paid attention to the last 5 minutes when I paused the recording and I went through it, you would have realized that this program helps you to understand the grips with what's happening in question 3B. Okay, so let's have a look at question 3B. Let's run this program and see what it does. Build and run. This program will find the average that a student spent programming biology and programming. How many students are there? Again, there's 3 students. Enter the number of days in the long weekend. Yay! This is what they expected of you in 3A, right, Vincent?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, how Vincent? How long is your long weekend? 3 days or 4 days?
4 days.
4 days, Vincent. Right. Vincent wants a 4-day long weekend. There we go. 4. Please enter the number of hours worked by student 1 on day 1 for computer programming. How many hours you worked, Vincent?
Let's say 6.
Okay, 6. Oh, you're very studious, right? Enter the number for biology. So you're studying programming and biology. How many hours you worked in biology, Vincent?
2.
2. Enter the number of hours worked by student 1 on day 2 for programming. How many hours, Vincent?
3.
3. For biology on day 2?
3 as well.
Okay. The student 1 on day 3 for programming. 2, 2. Right. Enter the number of students 1 for day 4. 0, you never study. You never study. You had a break. The time spent most on programming with an average of 2.75 hours. There we go. So that's what's expected of you in terms of the output. So you need to modify this program that you have in 3A so that it displays the following output. All right. Okay, you cool with that, Vincent?
Don't forget to read.
I beg your pardon, Chantell?
No, never mind, sir.
Oh, okay. Don't forget to record. Okay, so I'm recording here. Don't worry, I paused the recording. So let's look at this question. It says a void function. A function named print tabs with no parameters produces a table as the numbers 1 to 10, their squares and their cubes as shown below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's in the first column. In the second column, the square of 1 is 1, the square of 2 is 4, 3 is 9, 4 is 16. Hey, this looks like a loop that we're talking about. Chantell, quick question. Would this be a for loop or a while loop? Which one would be easier to implement?
A while loop.
Oh, you think a while loop? I think, yeah, you could do it with a while loop, but
I think 4.
yeah, also it's easier, Vincent, to work with a for loop, right? It's simple. I just feel it's easier.
Okay.
That's just my take on it. And Pabello says that too, right? But you could use a while loop because remember earlier on,
Yes.
you learned how to convert somewhere out here. It says how you go and change or you convert it from for loop to a while loop. There we go. You could do it, but I just feel it's so much easier to work with a for loop, right? It's a personal preference, doesn't really matter. So let's look at that. You'll be able to, and they want you to make a function. So you're going to have a function there, right? So let's see if I can show you the output as to what and how this looks, right? Okay, so let's go and do a build and run on this program. And I'm just going to run it now. There we go. This is the output that's expected of you, right? So the first column will have the numbers 1 to 10. And I think maybe Pabello, we convinced Vincent that it's easier to work with the for loop, but we can also work with the while loop. And the second column has the squares of the number, and the third one is the cubes. This is the second part of the question, right? So let's have a look at the code. Oopsie. All right, let's go and have a look at the code. Hey, live on Facebook. I wonder if you can do that. I don't know what happens there. Ooh, this is cool. Oh, but we're not going to try it now. Let's not try it now. All right, let's go. Okay, everybody. I think we shall call it a night. It's 8 o'clock by my time. Oh, 5 past 8. I don't want to take up your family time. I don't know if you'll had supper or not, but let's call it a night.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome,
Thank
Vincent.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Pabello. Thank you, Chantell, for joining us. Bye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
sir.
Oh, yeah. You're putting on the video. Okay. Oh, let's put the video on. Oh, you like my goodbye. Goodbye,
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Vincent. Goodbye, Pabello. Goodbye, Chantell. Bye. Bye. Goodbye, Chantell.
Goodbye, sir.
Okay, good luck. If you need any help, WhatsApp me, right? I'll send it to you.